that would be. Okay, let's start over. Welcome everyone to the session. My name is Jennifer. I am the community manager for Ecom Connect, which is the community and the program that is run by the International Trade Center. And we organize these events on a monthly basis to help e-commerce entrepreneurs just keep growing their business. And if you are new to this space, welcome. We are going to put a link in the chat. We would love to have you join us in Ecom Connect. We have so many great events weekly and just a whole lot of really great content in there to help you with your business. So today I am very excited that we have Preeti with us, who's going to talk about building an authentic and meaningful brand on Instagram. I know that a lot of you have product-based businesses, and Instagram is a great place for that, but there's also a way which Preeti will show us and teach us about how we can use it for like personal branding and even service-based businesses. Preeti is a creative and a personal branding expert. And we are going, so you can ask questions as we go through the session. I'm going to keep an eye out on the chat. And at the end, we're also going to keep some time for Q&A. This session is recorded, so you can always go back to it in Ecom Connect. We always share the recordings in there, so you can have access to that. And yeah, I think that's all. I will let Preeti take the stage from here. And I'm just going to highlight you so we can see you. There we go. Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. I hope you all are having a lovely day. Today, we're going to be chatting about Instagram, which is my most favorite social media platform ever. It has frankly changed my life and the nature of my business. So I'm really happy to talk about all things Instagram. Before we get started, feel free to share your Instagram links on the chat box so we all can connect with one another and follow one another. So today's chat is about building an authentic and meaningful brand presence on Instagram. We all, grew up in a time where obviously Instagram, became a big legit thing. We don't need to be trained on how to use the app. We are all storytellers inherently. But what is largely missing in today's times, especially post the pandemic, is people are seeking out for true connection online. And while it's easy for us to put ourselves out there, what is really difficult is to claim our space in a really saturated world, because honestly, there are so many of us doing the same thing. But how do you show yourself in a way that people actually notice who you are? People actually take notice of, your fascinating product line or your message. So that's going to be the core of today's presentation. Feel free to send your questions or anything you might, come up with. Feel free to send them on, write to us on the chat box, and I will get at it. Now, this is a quick introduction. So let's make it a fun game. Spot the lie. So who am I and why am I talking about Instagram today? So I am the head of social of a creative agency, which is run by Women of Asian Heritage. It's based in London. I'm also a personal branding coach for multi-passionate creators. I work with a lot of entrepreneurs, helping them launch themselves on social media so that their personal brand and their social media presence speaks volumes of their personality and expertise. I'm also the travel content creator on YouTube, and all these things, other things are about me. So if you spot a lie, tell me in the comments, like, which one do you think is the lie? Okay, and I'll give you a sec to.
This is so fun. I know you, and I'm trying to.
Jen, you can't cheat.
I am trying to figure out which one is the lie.
What do you think is the lie? I know I hope I have made a good impression so far. Music, travel content creator. Last point. Okay. Okay, okay, 20 more seconds. Okay. run a large meetup group in Amsterdam and London. I run a meetup group for marketers. We run a Facebook group. I used to host meetups in Amsterdam, and now I've moved to London. So I've started my own meetup group here as well. And yes, I am a travel content creator on YouTube. I was a performing music artist in India for 7 years. I was performing at a band post my work hours. So the last point is a secret, is a lie, but I kind of almost eloped to get married to my husband, but I actually didn't do it. But yeah, that is about me. And today we are going to be talking about all these things. Envisioning your brand as an iconic one and as not a mediocre one. We are going to learn about what is the Instagram culture? How is Instagram different from other platforms? We are going to talk about short form video strategy, understanding Instagram platforms and its 5 core pillars. We are going to talk about Reels specifically. And at the end of this webinar, I'm also going to talk about something that I've been building for months that I'm ready to share. Okay. Now, this is interesting. Launching a brand on social media is like scripting your own reality show for the world to watch. Because honestly, when you put yourself out there on social media with an intention that, hey, I am this entrepreneur or I am this professional with this business or with this product line, it's not just about your business. Your social media presence is not just about what you're trying to sell or what you're trying to project. You are not just a business or a brand or an entrepreneur or a professional. You're much more than a title, isn't it? I mean, social media was created for us to connect, for us to share. It was a platform that was meant for self-expression. But unfortunately, over these years, it has become this playground of people trying to project their best selves, project their best version of themselves, but unfortunately that's not what it is. So we also struggle a lot in putting ourselves out there in a way that our social media truly captures us in our element, like who we really are in our person. So does your social media reflect the true person you are in reality? Like the way your friends, your family really perceive of you in real life, does your personal brand reflect that truth? You should ask this question to yourself and find out like if there is a missing link. The thing is, when we think about creating a brand presence on Instagram, we overthink the process so much because we end up comparing ourselves with our competitors, with all these people with crazy number of followers and huge audiences. But we forget the core of what makes us special. We are not brands, we are not entrepreneurs. We are special people. We are real people with genuine stories, with interesting stories to tell. We are humans. We have a distinct personality. We have life events that are worth writing a book about. We have a unique voice, which has been, shaped based on all our life events and all these places we lived in. We have a message that is so powerful, that has the potential to create impact and influence people. So the next time you think of yourself as a business or an Instagrammer or a content creator or a YouTuber, no, you're more than that. You are a real person who has a fascinating story to tell, and the world needs to watch your story being documented by you as if it was the most interesting reality show ever broadcasted on the internet. So you will have to think of your brand as an iconic one and not fall into the category of mediocrity, because unfortunately the platform is diluted so much and there is so much average content out there that we stop looking at the gems hidden in our story and we start comparing ourselves with moderately average stuff that we see. So the key message here I'm trying to share with you guys is, don't underestimate the power of the person, the story behind your brand, whether you are a product entrepreneur or whether you are a service-based entrepreneur or whether you are an artist. You're worthy of building an iconic social media presence, no matter who you are. So we are almost entering 2022. right? And your brand needs a main character. It needs a face. Like people buy from people. We have heard these things, isn't it? People buy from people. People are leaning in more to real stories. Our audience, like today's social media audience, can really tell what's fake, what is not, what is authentic, what is inauthentic, who is trying to put a fake image. People know, we all know. And especially after 2020, the world has seen the rise of, you know, hidden voices who were never on social media, but because of their authenticity, because of their real stories, we have seen this whole new generation of voices on Instagram that shared something so powerful, shared something which had so much meaning. And the secret behind that was the fact that they actually came out, out of hiding, and started sharing their message on camera. Like we've seen the Black Lives Matter, we have seen the climate change issues, we have seen various big issues that took over the world in the past 2 years, and a lot of people used the power of Instagram and brought themselves on camera to talk about issues that really matter to them. So heading into 2022, if you're still thinking that you can win over Instagram without putting your face on it, I can guarantee you that you're missing out on a huge potential. Only when you make yourself the face of your brand, whether it's a product brand or whether it is a service brand, you will be able to leverage, because people will be able to lean into your story and listen to you talking about your brand with the same passion and integrity that you have for your business. You are the main character. And I get this a lot, that I'm not interesting. My brand is not interesting. My niche is not interesting. I have nothing good to say. Who am I to talk about my business? There's so many more interesting people out there putting fun stuff. But if you think, I mean, let me know in the comments, has anyone seen this show called Squid Game on Netflix? Yes, no, just no. Okay, not yet. Okay, but at least you've heard of it. Now, the main character in Squid Game is the least interesting character in the show, you know, but he became a hit because he was the main character. But his character was so boring and so dull, and he had no personality. He was like lurking throughout the entire season. But the thing that made him interesting is his side characters, his life events, his backstory, his plot, all these incredible, fascinating details of his, the way they started unfolding in the show made his character more and more interesting towards the end. So this is a fine example that you don't have to be the most interesting, or you don't have to be the most iconic, like outgoing extroverted person to be successful on Instagram, which is, there is this perception that to be seen on Instagram in a way that people love you, you have to be the very flamboyant. But no, that's not about it. I think the fact that you are underestimating your potential of your story, of your message, is probably coming in the way of how you look at the platform. So your storyline has to set the narrative of your brand. I work in this creative agency, Amplify, where we work with brands and launch them on social media. And we really work closely with the PR team. So we sit with the PR team and discuss that, okay, now that we are launching this social media brand online, how do we make it more interesting so that people get to notice this brand from the rest of the competitors? So there's a lot of strategy that goes into positioning this brand as like some kind of an iconic brand, so that there's some drama, there's some controversy, there is some element of, like there's a quirk that people identify with, that people actually get to notice it. So it's not just about putting yourself on Instagram and start sharing content. Much before you start creating content, think about what is the broader narrative of your brand. Okay, what's the story that you're saying? You are the main character, you are the person running the show in your business, but what is the larger picture that you're painting? What is the plot of the show? What will be the recurring content themes that you will be talking about, so that people see the full picture of the experience that you're creating on Instagram? What are those side characters? Your side characters would be about those lived experiences, the stories that you tell, which are tied very strongly to your product, to your business, to your brand. And also you have to think about what is the genre of your brand going to be like what is the tone of voice that people will experience in your content on Instagram. So that voice has to really align with who you are as a personality. You cannot, eventually you cannot fake a voice. You might get started with sounding like someone, but eventually you will have to figure out a way that you feel yourself showing up as who you are. So like I said, like any social media brand, any big company that works with PR agencies and the creative agencies that help them launch themselves on social media, you will also have to think about reinventing yourself in a way that people see you. There has to be some sense of angle. There has to be an angle in which you position yourself differently online, and that angle, that unique spin, is making it easier for people to say that, okay, you are doing the same thing that other people are doing, but there's something that is different. There's something that is especially enduring or quirky that actually attracts people's attention and they take notice of you. Your Instagram North Star. I think this is one thing that a lot of entrepreneurs, largely, I mean, not just entrepreneurs, but even creators, they forget that why they're on Instagram. And we start thinking about Instagram as like this place where we can constantly talk about a business every single day. But honestly, no one really cares about your business. You have to really start from a place that you have to answer this question, that what is your larger purpose? What is your Instagram North Star? Why should someone follow you? Why should someone follow you? What will they get out of following your page or your business page? Okay, so you have to think beyond your business. And on Instagram, you have to think that how can I create a content experience for people to follow me so that they feel some sense of value, they get entertained, or whatever kind of value you can provide to them. So this is my this is how I wrote down my purpose. I talk a lot about social media, Instagram, personal branding, but my larger purpose and why, my North Star on Instagram, is creating a meaningful community to help people becoming their best selves, live authentically, and show up online as who they are becoming on Instagram and in life. So this is my core why in my business, in what I do. And once I know that this is my North Star, it becomes very easy for me to pick the right content, to pick the right subject, to pick topics that I can talk about, because I can always go back to my North Star and see, okay, what I'm talking about today, does it make sense? Does it align to the bigger why of my business on Instagram? So far, do we have any? Okay, great. So on Instagram, we'll get to the platform in a bit. I am just trying to, prime you all to look at your brand in a very different, iconic sort of a way. And that's what I'm trying to do here, much before we get into how Instagram works, much before we get into the features of Instagram. These slides that you're seeing are exactly the slides that we use in our creative studio when we work with businesses, like very huge businesses, to help them with their social media strategy and the content on Instagram especially. You have to set an intention before getting started. Like I said, what's your North Star? What is the kind of message that you're sharing? What's your larger why? Write the mission statement of your brand on Instagram. Find out like what's the mission of your business. If you're a service-based entrepreneur, if you want to use Instagram for clients, if you're an artist, you want to use Instagram to promote your NFTs or promote your art, or if you are an e-commerce product entrepreneur, you want to obviously sell stuff, right? So you will have to craft a compelling mission statement that says, okay, I have this amazing shoes brand, okay? But my bigger why is to probably encourage people to clean living or drink healthy fruit juices. So my why is not about selling my juice. My why is a message that will change my ideal audience's lives. So you'll have to craft a mission statement that is in tune and in line with your product line, and you have to intentionally identify a problem, and then find a solution and kind of fit your core why into that. So that's going to be your intention on Instagram. Your strategic spin. Now, this is my favorite. Like I told you, big brands, when they launch themselves online, like from celebrities to companies, they do work with PR companies who help them on rethinking an angle. Like, this is how we'll position you. If you are a yoga instructor, for example, and there are like millions of other yoga instructors in the world. So, what is it different about you? Like, why would someone hire you as their yoga coach and not the other person? So you'll have to find a strategic spin on how you want to market your yoga instructor brand. Are you a yoga for aspiring moms? Are you a yoga for burnt out CEOs? Are you a yoga instructor for children? Are you a yoga instructor for men or people with specific body issues or body image issues? So find a spin and connect that angle to your message and to your brand, and then make it clear, because this will help you position, this will help you claim a niche space, and people see you differently, and people don't treat you as just another yoga instructor, but oh, this yoga instructor is someone who works especially with aspiring moms or burnt out CEOs. So something that challenges the status quo, something that makes your brand unconventional or quirky, or maybe think about how you can attach a very different kind of messaging to yoga, like yoga and mental health, or juice and clean living, or whatever that is. Make it into an interesting angle of how you can position your brand differently. The content experience is about the stories you want to tell as part of, which are an extension of your brand. So these stories will be based out of your true life events as an entrepreneur. The ideas you want to share based on your theories, experiences, experiments. Like there is this brand called Glossier, right? I'm not sure if you guys know, but Glossier is a very well-known skincare brand that talks about minimal skincare. Although they have a huge product line, but they have been able to capture the concept of clean beauty and having a minimal skin routine and makeup free looks, and they have been able to establish that brand in that territory. So their entire content talks about, they share a lot of like very toned down makeup free faces, clean faces of different like women of different colors, and it's just that vibe that speaks to people, and people feel so connected that this brand is not trying to oversell their products, but it's marketing the idea of less is more. So their content speaks about their products, it speaks about how they approach clean beauty, and the fact that less is more when it comes to skincare and makeup. So the narrative you want to choose to document your creative journey as a brand needs to come out really, really strong. It needs to have like an element of you and a very strong story of your brand. So some of the secret ingredients, again, to repeat what I said, of standing out is your strong narrative. Like, what is the narrative that you've chosen in your Instagram brand? Okay, what is the larger story that you're saying? That you're a brand, you have this backstory of how you started your brand, things that made you who you are today, the bigger why, and then some dramatic side events that make it more interesting for you to be able to sell the story of your brand. And also the strategic spin of, okay, how have you positioned yourself differently, like a yoga instructor but for burnt out CEOs, or a skincare brand for, I would say, a skincare brand for women who love the concept of less is more. So, and then the third part is content that speaks directly to your audience. So these are the three elements of that will make sure that your Instagram really stands out and you're not lost in the sea of sameness. At this
Preeti,
point, yeah.
sorry. Yasreen is asking if we could paste the link to the Instagram profile of that clean beauty skincare brand,
Okay.
so they can see as an example.
Okay, the brand is called Glossier. Do check it out, and
I'll find it and put it in there while you're continuing.
yes, and yeah, this is a great thing to do as well. I mean, I would love it if you guys have favorite brands that you love to follow and it kind of makes you feel a certain kind of way. Feel free to share, yeah, your one favorite Instagram brand that you absolutely love and love to engage with, and we can have those inspiration also. Okay. Okay, so what are brand content pillars? Okay, so essentially brand content pillars are foundational key content themes that you as a brand can talk about consistently. So these, see, for example, if I run a, what do you call, like I've taken the example of beauty as well. Say I run a pet company or a brand for pets, like, you know, like accessories for cats, for example. Now, I can't keep talking about cute, like, of course, I can talk all day about cute cats, but you can't just keep talking about accessories all the time. Maybe you can, but what if your brand talked about things that we feel as a cat owner? You know, if you talk about things that funny things that happen in your life that made your day, or some kind of like find connection points that people who own a cat can be like high five with you and be like, oh my god, that happened to me, that happens to me, I so get this. So think of your content pillars about like foundational content themes that help you establish a relationship with your ideal audience in more ways than one. You know, you don't have to talk about your product all the time, but find engaging conversations that you think your ideal customer would also be interested in, but it has to make sense to them. You need to be able to find pillars that they identify with. So if I'm a yoga instructor, I would talk about mental health, I would talk about lifestyle, I would talk about women and health. If I'm catering to women of a certain demographic, then I'll probably talk about period health, I'll talk about mental health and stuff that women go through. So identify key content themes that will give you more room for creativity to, so you feel comfortable having conversations and you don't have to be salesy all the time. And what happens that when in doubt, you like, what do I talk about on Instagram? You can always come back to your key content pillars and you know, talk about various subjects. So now let's talk about Instagram. Like, what is Instagram and how is it different? Now, the thing about all social media platforms is every social media platform is very different. You know, YouTube is very different from TikTok, Facebook, of course, and then there's Snapchat, then there is LinkedIn, and all these new platforms that have come in. Something very distinct about Instagram, which is its culture. Now, we can't forget that Instagram was the first kind of platform that started the trend of selfie. Like, selfie happened on Instagram. Filters happened on Instagram. Vertical videos was invented. Like, the idea of vertical videos came into being on Instagram. So Instagram thrives on pop culture, art, self-expression, entertainment. And it started this whole new medium of self-expression where it was cool to entertain people online, where it was cool to share travel pictures online. So you have to understand that the nature of Instagram as a platform is that it's a space where a lot of homegrown brands and ordinary people became influencers overnight because they made storytelling fun, they made storytelling aspirational, and they have been able to like amass large following because of the nature of the app. So Instagram's picture first format made it into a visually appealing platform that obviously like started this whole culture of showing off pictures and talking about your story through a set of pictures and videos. And I don't know if you know about this news that Adam Mosseri is the head of Instagram. This is something interesting that happened recently. I don't know if Jen knows about this, but Adam Mosseri is the head of Instagram and he has a large following on Instagram. Okay, so he occasionally does these IGTV videos where he shares about new features and people just await for his videos, like even on Twitter. So this guy shares an IGTV and makes it public, and he says something like, Instagram is not just a photo sharing app anymore. We are prioritizing video experience in the app, and the whole world crashes into pieces. Like he broke the internet that day because everyone became so mad and upset because they were like, what is this? We got on Instagram because it was a photo sharing app, and this guy saying, no, it's not just a photo sharing app anymore. We are prioritizing video experiences on the app. So there was a lot of commotion around, oh, are we not going to be uploading pictures anymore? What's really happening? So he had to come again and do another press conference where he says, like, I didn't say that it's not going to be a photo sharing app anymore. What I meant was, we are looking at Instagram as more of a video platform. It's still going to have its native photo sharing experience, but we are competing heavily on TikTok and we are prioritizing video content in the app. So if you are a native user on Instagram, please don't limit yourself to sharing photos, because as Instagram team, they are pushing more video and short form content on the app. So if you're still thinking about, no, I'm never going to do reels or IGTV, then you're missing out a lot, because the company, the brand in itself is basically asking people to get on reels. Otherwise they will not, they will not promote your content enough. And yeah, to just continue what I was saying earlier, Instagram is a 5-pillar platform. It's not just one platform like most other things. There are so many interesting foundations to how Instagram is built, and we need to be able to leverage each of these pillars. So there's feed posts, there's long form video. It's not IGTV, it doesn't exist anymore. It used to be IGTV, but Instagram has now compiled videos as just videos, and there's no IGTV anymore. So there's feed posts, there's long form video, there are live streams. If you save the live streams, it eventually gets shown as a video on your feed. And then there's reels, and then there is stories. So you have to think about Instagram as this big playground with all these different rides, right? For you to really have fun and make friends and build your audience, you have to get on to each of these rides. You can't be like, no, I'm just going to do with feed posts. No, you can't do that, because Instagram is encouraging users to use as many of their features as possible so that they can show your brand to more people and help you build that kind of reach that you really, you're seeking out for. So there's stories, there's it. So how many of you actually post stories consistently? I'm just genuinely curious. Just give me something in the chat box. When was the do you post stories frequently? Yes or no? Ursula does.
Yes.
Not often. Daily. Oh, right. I love stories, Jen. I absolutely love stories, because I'll tell you, the nature of Instagram story is it's supposed to be inauthentic. Authentic. What am I saying? It's supposed to be authentic. It's supposed to be BTS. The element of the reason why stories was created is because stories is ephemeral content. It's content that disappears. So people don't feel too much pressure in putting really well articulated, well presented stories. So people put real stuff, and eventually what they do is, when they put real behind the scenes stuff on their stories, they end up having a deep connection with their audience, because the audience is really enjoying your raw, original, authentic self on your stories. So if you are nervous, like MJ is saying, don't overthink it. Just make sure you publish a couple of, even you can just start with a few behind the scenes stories of your product, like if you're packaging your product, or if you're working on a new course, or if you are like launching something, just show behind the scenes on what you're working on. Do these little cute vlog like videos. You don't even have to show your face, but start somewhere.
I actually have a question, Preeti, about that. So about videos, let's say, you know, some people are not comfortable yet putting like their actual face and like recording things like that. Does it help to at least maybe like create some sort of creative videos, showing your products, highlighting like some sort of promo marketing videos? Would that also be at least helpful to start?
On stories, you mean, right?
Well, anywhere really, because you're talking about how it's like essentially Instagram is helping those who put more video content, right? They're highlighting those who put more video content.
Yes, yes. Yeah, Jen, it's absolutely right. Because you can try multiple things. Like there's no one rule that works. You have to constantly keep innovating and experimenting with your content. The beauty of what Instagram today is, after the advent of Reels and the new set of features we are seeing, people want more real, authentic, raw stuff. They don't like heavily edited, produced videos anymore. So you have to think about videos as two different things. Like there's stories where you can capture, no filter kind of videos, behind the scenes, real stuff. But if you are probably doing a video or a reel, you can add a groovy beat to it with a song and kind of produce it in a way that is more entertaining. But yeah, to answer your question, you can always, if you are a product business, right, you're constantly working on packaging and creating these amazing things. So make sure you are documenting all these little things that you're doing in your office or in your studio, because these are the kind of things that blow up on Instagram. So capture small tiny details of your creative process of building whatever you're building, and make that into a beautiful story in form of a video and share that with your audience. All you have to do is just add a voiceover maybe, or you can add a nice beautiful song that is in line with what your product is about, and there you have a wonderful video to share, and you can always have more story going in the caption.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. I'm actually going to share the link of one of our members. She doesn't do videos, I don't think, very much, but she does a really great job at
Yeah,
herself in her atelier, doing the work, like making her products. So I'm going to pop that link in below as well.
sure, that'd be great. Oh, we have 23 people. I didn't see that. Oh, there's another Preeti in the audience. That's how lovely. But yes, you guys, please share your Instagram links so we all follow one another, because that's also the point of today's session, is we stay connected and we see what you guys are up to on Instagram and how you're, leveraging the app differently. So like I said, Instagram is a platform that is known for its pop culture, its entertainment. The fabric of the platform it's so rooted in music, storytelling, visuals, character building, beautiful pictures, and entertainment. And with Reels, that angle of storytelling has gone just one step ahead. People have found innovative ways to talk about their brand through vlogs, through fun videos, through just, pointing fingers. So there's this I feel is a golden era on Instagram where there is room for diverse voices with unique perspectives. And no matter how much you think Instagram is saturated, there is still room for people who think differently, people who have a very unique take on marketing their product with, like I said in my previous slide, with a unique spin. And imagine, Reels just happened last year. We just completed 1 year anniversary for Reels. The market is still very fresh. So if you think that it's too late, I'm here to tell you that it's not at all. So if you want to take Instagram seriously, now is the time for you to get on it, but make sure that you have clarity on how you want to talk about your brand and what's that unique angle you want to use in your content, and start showing up. So again, with Reels, like I said, the culture, the nature of the platform has completely shifted to more authentic content, because the nature of Reels is that people are having a lot of fun, people are capturing themselves in their element. So authenticity is a winning strategy, which if you go back a few years ago, no one would talk about authenticity. It was all about perfectly curated square images on Instagram. But now people want you showing up without makeup. People want you showing up, showing us the behind the dirty scenes of you running your business. They want to see you hustle. They want to see you share your pain, your grief, your hustle, your struggles, while sharing your, the wins of your journey as well. So that is the kind of stuff that is winning over the internet right now, which more and more people are actually doing it, which is beautiful for the internet. So again, there's no formula for authenticity. I don't think anyone in the world has been able to master this secret formula for authenticity. But the secret definitely lies in your own unique point of view and how you envision your brand and your one of a kind narrative. So the secret of being authentic on Instagram is to see that, okay, if you are a toy brand, how would you sell these toys made for kids versus all other toy brands? There was recently this beautiful video I saw on LinkedIn where I don't know its name, but they said that this toy brand did this campaign on Instagram. I forgot the brand name. What they did is they associated this idea of um, loving your family to, or taking care of your family to toys. So remember this. So there was this video of this little girl sitting in the park with a doll, and she would do her hair. She's like doing her hair. And then they showed another B-roll of a past video where kids are taking care of the grandparents and they are doing the hair of their old aging grandparents. So they associated this idea of take care of your toy as if you were taking care of people you love. And I don't know if I'm doing a good job of laying out that what you call it, that narrative, but that's what it was. So they did something so beautiful that tied in loving your parents, loving your grandparents to taking care of your toys, and that in itself was it really worked because so many people were able to identify with that strategy, with that narrative, and it worked for them. So that these are the kind of things that make your brand authentic. So you have to really dive deep into your backstory as to how you want to really talk about your brand. I see like 14 comments. Okay. Okay.
We're good so far. No questions, just lots of interaction.
Yeah, just keep sharing, guys. I mean, it's always nice to hear back from you of what you, if you think differently or if you have anything to add to what I'm saying. So like post 2020, brands are becoming people and people are becoming brands, isn't it? That's how it is right now. Brands want to become more like human. There was a time when they would just post pictures of their products, but now brands are looking for content creators to take over their Instagram brands and bring a face to their brand. Whereas now people are acting like brands right now. Like personal branding is all about giving you, laying out that iconic version of who you are as an entrepreneur online, right? So people buy from people. As humans, we connect with stories. Our backstories is what really makes our social media interesting. People read through captions, people are following our journey, and that is the kind of thing that people are rooting for. So these are my two favorite brands. One is Teva and one is I Am Jam Gamble. She is a public speaking coach. She's a personal brand, and Teva is again a beautiful footwear brand. You see, like, so one is a personal brand and one is a product brand, but you can't not notice that there are images of real people and faces on the Instagram page, which says that this era is the era of putting a face on your brand. Whether you run a product based business or whether you're an entrepreneur yourself, you need to put your face in front of the camera and use your voice and personality to share the message that you want to share.
We have a question. Nisreen is asking, people equal brand. Does this apply even for high-end luxury brands?
What is the specific question?
So you're saying that like people are a brand and brands are people, and she's asking if like does this also apply for high-end luxury brands? So Nisreen has like a high-end jewelry brand.
Of course. I think when we say people are becoming brands and brands are becoming people, the idea is you are making your brand more human. That when people follow you on social media, you make it aspirational. So if I see something, if I see a random product on a piece of furniture, would I feel like, will it make me want it, or what will, like, or else if a girl walking on the street is carrying that beautiful purse, that is more aspirational, right? So you have to strike a fine balance in creating that picture of what it is really like to own your product and what does it look like in real life, right? So obviously you can have pictures of, you can have product photographs as well, that always works. But when you show real people who probably look like me, who probably look like Jen, carrying your high end luxury items, it just takes it to the whole new level, because people can actually imagine real people using your product and looking great. So you have to sort of find a good balance and not, um, not leverage that human angle, because if you do that, it also helps in sort of people imagining that, okay, this is a brand that I can also own. So I'm sure there are like a lot of luxury brands on Instagram who are doing a great job. They do lots of influencer marketing campaigns with models, with creators of different, diverse skin types, modeling for them. And if you're not leveraging that, maybe you're missing out on something. So make sure, if you do a series of video series on reels or even on stories, where you can do a story takeover with one, content creator talking about your product one day of the week, something like that, then I think it can just help people connect with your luxury brand better.
Yeah, I agree, because people need to relate, right? And so there needs to be an emotional connection. And when they relate and they can see themselves in your brand, that's when conversions happen. So,
Absolutely.
mhm.
And this is my favorite brand, guys. Just go follow them. Omsom. I'm sure Jen also knows them. So Omsom is an Asian food brand that took the internet by storm, and they started the business in pandemic, during the pandemic, and they become like a huge rage. People love their brand, and this is how their food feed looks. Uh, and I'm going to tell you like how this is a fine example of everything that I've been sharing about Instagram and positioning yourself differently. They are a fine example of how they are incorporating all those things and how it has helped them like stick out and create a whole cult community. So Omsom is an Asian food brand that it's like a ready to make meal kind of a product line. The secret sauce behind their success of the Instagram brand is they positioned it as if they said that this is the story that is being documented by two sisters. So she is the older sister, the one that you see on the right side of the reel. She talks about a lot of um, stuff about Asian representation in the food industry. So these are the two sisters. They say that we are sisters who are Vietnamese refugees who are redefining the Asian food representation in American supermarkets. Now they obviously I mean, obviously that is one of their whys, but the fact that they position themselves in a way that we're not just any Asian food company, we have a powerful story. We are two sisters born to immigrant parents, and we saw that there was a lack of Asian representation in the ethnic aisles in the American supermarkets. We wanted to change that. Now that makes a groundbreaking story. Now that is powerful. And then when they started showing up from that angle of frustration that this needs to change. There are so many, one third of US population consists of immigrants, but still our ethnic aisles don't demonstrate that representation. We got to change this. And that became their why. And they started having their discussions on that level. And that's when they started attracting their community, because people started to identify with that. That's so true. So now they have built this wonderful cult community of Asian people who think alike and are so in line with their mission statement. So they do a lot of fun reels. Their Instagram brand is reeks of Asian vibes. These are the two sisters who run this brand, and they have about 44K followers. Love their bio, which says real Asian flavors that take you home proudly and loudly. So the strategy that they've been incorporating is they are challenging the status quo and are having bold conversations around Asian flavors and cuisine. So they don't shy away from having difficult and bold conversations when it comes to Asian cuisine, and that is the kind of content that help them build a community. And that's the thing, we sometimes really underestimate the potential of the stories and how you can potentially, you know, talk about your brand from a very different point of view, which is in line with a frustration of your ideal customer. So when you identify that strategic narrative and make it so strongly tied into your brand, that's when people will be able to see your why reeking through your content. And I think Umsam has done like really well. So they do like a lot of reels. Their reels are the most amazing, most fun. Their entire team does these reels that talk about myths in the Asian food cuisine, how people stereotype Asian people and their food, which again is amazing. You should definitely check it out. This is another brand that I love. It's a UK-based British brand called Size Studio. This studio is run by this young 25 something girl, British girl, who is called Polly. So she has a huge personal brand and she's been able to leverage her personal brand to run her business. Now, what are these guys doing? So Size Studio is a stationery product line that caters to students and young professionals. So their content, the secret sauce is their endearing team and their faces that pop on their socials, giving that sitcom energy. So you'll see these two girls are actually, it's a team of 5 people who occasionally make these fun reels to talk about going back to university or university issues or boyfriend issues and I didn't submit my assignment issues. So the entire content revolves around storytelling of what young professionals or students going to college deal with, and they do that job really well. So they have been able to create a brand around that story and people really identify with that brand. So the main character of this brand is Polly, the founder. She has her own Instagram page where she has again 35-40K, and she talks a lot about dating and being single in UK and girl boyfriend problems, and she talks about her struggles as an entrepreneur. So it's pretty interesting. So I think one thing that we can really take away from this brand on Instagram is the content revolves around daily life events of university students, and they address their overwhelm in a very endearing sort of way. So Omsom and Size Studio are doing something strategically right. And if you are a brand, you have to find that social media narrative, which will further help you, you know, paint that full picture of a brand that is telling a bigger, larger story.
We have a question, Preeti, from Kenya.
Size Studio. Okay, just look up Size Studio. I'll see if the handle is the same.
So Kenya's asking, what if I don't want
It
to
is double edge. Yeah.
Can you hear me, Preeti?
Yes.
Okay. Kenya's asking, what if I don't want to be the face of my brand? Does that mean my business can't grow organically on Instagram?
That's a brilliant question. Of course, you don't have to necessarily put your face on the brand, but you have to find interesting ways of creating that mystery that, who is this amazing person running this wonderful brand? So if you do, so that's a bug, right? You don't want to make yourself the face of the brand. Now you have to think about innovative ways of how you can make that bug into a feature. So you have to think more deeply about, you can still show up on videos, you can still show up on videos in a way that people are seeing your hands, or I don't know what your business is about. If you tell me more about your business, I can give you more concrete ideas about this. But when I say you have to put your face in the brand, doesn't mean that you have to like be in front of the camera, but you have to make your brand look more aspirational. Like, how does it look in real life? And there has to be some person documenting your brand and telling that story. So you could do a lot of BTS videos. If you are not comfortable, maybe find the most cheerful person in your team or your friends, who are, you know, talking about your product, or you can showcase those products through other people. So you have to find ways on how you can capture videos which have a BTS behind the scenes element, mini vlogs of you wearing those products or whatever it is. But the idea is you have to have that element of human factor in your, I'm sorry, human factor in your storytelling.
So Kenya actually has a perfect business to do this without putting the face on the brand. I don't know if it's he or she, because I don't know if this is the first name. Um, it's a loose leaf tea business. There's so many beautiful videos you can capture of like someone like holding a cup of like steaming tea or um, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, I think,
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You don't, I mean, when I say, see, adding your face as a business, it just makes it easier for
uh-huh.
you to just come in front of the camera and talk and sell. Because when a person directly sells, then there is more chances of someone leaning into your story or buying from you. But that doesn't mean that you have to put yourself in front of the camera. But in case of loose leaf tea business, you can have these beautiful product videos of someone holding a cup of tea, or your tea, get making tea in your kitchen, or for example, if you're in a place where, with cold weather, then have these beautiful locations like product placement of your tea in beautiful homes in Kenya. How does your tea look like in every home, which has every home has a different setting, every weather has a different setting. So how can you create that vibe and ambience, kind of an environment for your product placement in videos? And think about that, but it needs to have that human element where people can see the tea being brewed, whatever that is, and see that there's some life to those videos, unlike just very close up shots of your tea, and there's no life around it. so
I know
so
a lot of brands also what they do sometimes is they'll start a hashtag related to their business and they'll ask their customers like post a video of you like drinking the tea, and then you can actually like repost and reshare that content. It creates like real human, stuff related to your brand.
Absolutely. Like if you are a brand which already has a presence and people are already buying from you, definitely leverage the user generated content strategy where you ask your community to create and share how they are using your product in their homes.
Yeah.
But as easy it may sound, UGC can be a little bit of a stretch if you are a new brand, because you're basically asking people to share content on their profile and then share it to you. So you will have to set the tone right first. As an entrepreneur, as a business, you'll have to start this sharing the vibe of your business through these. Like there has to be people should be able to see that aesthetic in your videos that is in line with your product, what it's about. So if you don't want to be in face of the brand, find a model or find people in real life who could be in your videos. They don't have to say anything, but basically you're capturing the cup of tea in the hands of real people who look like us, people whose homes look like us. So leverage that. You don't have to focus on that, but there, of course, like there are lots of examples of brands where brands just showcase their products in beautiful settings, and there are no people in those videos.
Great. We also have another question from Nisreen. She says, my question is actually, it is not as spontaneous as it looks. In this example, it shows that they use videos to show authenticity and to connect with us, but at the same time, they have standard templates that give us the taste of the brand. So it is kind of a marketing strategy.
Okay, it shows that they have certain palette, font, and way videos, events that we can capture from this. All of this should be identified at the beginning. That's a really great point. I mean, thanks for sharing this with us, Nisreen. I think this is a great point. And of course, you have to understand that Omsom is an established brand right now. They've worked with a creative agency who have helped them create this brand presence. But we all start small somewhere. Let's be super duper realistic. If you can work with an agency that helps you design your logo and have all your brand elements put together, the aesthetics, the cover images, of course, that takes your brand to the next level. But like I'm saying, much before you invest in your brand or a creative agency, I think Jen will definitely have a lot to add to that. You have to really understand what is it that you're talking about, like what is the message that you're sharing, what is the unique spin of your narrative, what is the broader picture, what is the narrative that you are going to use to talk about the why of your brand, right? And once you have answered all these questions, you can say that, okay, I'm this brand, I'm this homegrown brand that will speak to people who value sustainability, or who value luxury, or who value Asian cuisine and who love street food. So your branding and your colors and your aesthetics will be based on that. Why that narrative? Because once you know that this is going to be the show that I'm going to produce and these are the characters, then you will think about what kind of setting, what kind of mood board, what kind of palettes, color palettes you want to give. So I feel branding is the least headache for any kind of an agency. You can just hire someone amazing who can work on your branding. But he or she will definitely ask you, but what are you trying to build? What's your vision? Who are you catering to? What's the story? What's the vibe? And all of these questions, you need to have clarity about these questions, and then have very aligned brand presence. This also, I want to also add, like when you share reels and videos, you will see when you post a reel, you have to have a strategic cover for the reel. Now, the graphic on your reel has to also match your other branding on your Instagram pages. So I think it's a great idea to have some kind of a cohesive branding done for your Instagram page, especially if you are a real business. People, when they come to your when they land on your page, if your feed gives that smooth aesthetic, everything is in line with one another, it just makes you look good in front of them, so they are more likely to follow you if they see that you've actually put in work to look good on Instagram. So thanks, Nisreen, for sharing that. And definitely branding is the key. Instagram bio. How many of you follow Mary Folio? I just wanted to give a quick example. Like, don't want to talk too much about highlights, but highlights is the most underrated thing. People ignore it, but your highlights is like if you have a showroom on the street, what people can see from outside, from the street to into your showroom, the stuff that is on the display is what will make them decide whether they want to go in or not go in. So think of your highlights as that. So curate your highlighted content in a way that it has all the necessary information for someone to convert from a visiting follower to a subscribed follower. So your highlights need to say everything about who you are, what you are, your core values. I love Make Me Giddy, her profile. She has 781 followers, but that's not the point. I love the stuff that she's doing. She's an Australian entrepreneur who does beautiful clay earrings, and she talks about mental health because she has been battling mental health issues ever since she was young. So she talks about earrings with a purpose. So she calls earrings with a purpose, and the purpose is mental health. So she has created this beautiful community, and her why is when she was going through a major mental health crisis, it was her love for creating beautiful earrings that helped her cope up with this issue. And she's been able to craft that narrative on a social media, which is so beautiful, isn't it? And who can ever think about clubbing mental health and beautiful earrings, because they do not kind of go together? But this is a fine example of how you can, and her highlights are a great example. There is a highlighted content which is mental health, where she comes up, shares a lot of tips about mental health while wearing those jewelry. By the way, should wear those jewelry and should share beautiful things about mental health, where to get treatment, when to get treatment, all the intricate details about treatments, and then all the different kind of things. So your 2022 Instagram manual, like I said, there are 5 pillars of Instagram. There's Reels that helps you with fast growth and virality. Daily stories build trust and authenticity. Live streams, you could always host weekly or monthly live streams with other content creators or industry leaders who are probably doing the same thing. Think of always host live streams with people who have a similar audience who would also be interested in buying from you. Start an episodic long form video series. If you had to start somewhere, make it into a series that people will feel incentivized to keep coming back for more. Feed post, leverage feed posts and carousel posts. Like, gone are the days when you could just put one picture and done. No, Instagram allows you to post 10 pictures at once. So if you could tell a story using 10 pictures, why would you not use those 10 pictures? Don't limit yourself to just putting one picture, because the more people keep swiping, it hints the Instagram algorithm that people want more. So that further boosts your engagement and is great for engagement as well. And I know Reels is super duper intimidating with a lot of people, but if I could give you a few hot tips about Reels, I think you could start a new series on Reels, and share about interesting topics around your product. For example, if a tea brand, so you can say about, okay, how is tea making your life better, like things like Marie Kondo would do. She talks about organizing skills, right? So she talks about different kind of things, like how can you organize your bedroom, organize your wardrobe, your kitchen. So think of how you can start a new series where you tie your brand into something and start that series that provides a lot of value to your ideal audience, and make it into like a part 5, part 10 kind of series. And I think Reels is one such feature that helps you bring the sass out in your brand, and it really makes it okay to be fun, and you don't have to overthink it. Even if your reel is out of character, it's okay, because that's what Reels are all about. um, so definitely use Instagram's new features, the effects, filters, audio tools, participate in trends that are trending on the explore page for visibility, experiment with different filming formats, try quirky ways of storytelling. Like I said, start a 3 to 10 part series, like keep coming for more. Today's tip is about, okay, if I run a coffee brand, so today I talk about, brewing the best coffee for fall season. So tomorrow I do something different, like a different recipe for every day of the week, something like that, something that makes people keep coming back for more. Now, like someone asked me this question, like what type of reels you should be creating. um, I think there are two kinds of reels. One is the trending stuff, and one is the original stuff. Now, I know a lot of people cringe about trending audios, like that's not my style. I don't like it either. It's just, oh my God, like everyone talks about, like everyone is doing the same dance in the same sequence. Why should I do that? I'm a very different person. But that's the thing, right, about Instagram is unfortunately we are tied to the algorithm, right? Now you can say, I don't want to do trends, I just want to do original stuff. But the nature of trends on Instagram is such that the whole world dancing to one tune at the same time, but in their own sort of a niche way, it just makes you feel so, it's just a wholesome experience that everyone is using the same song to talk about their message. So it is kind of bringing the whole world together. So if you start looking at trends from that angle, people are more primed to watch your reel if it is about a trending song, because they're already, they have already seen it on their feeds, but they would really want to see more. They now want to see your version of what you make out of that song. So trending content helps you grasp the culture and the fabric of Instagram, and it also is great for visibility, because most viral videos are videos that are made out of trends that are already on the explore page, because Instagram is really encouraging more creators and businesses to leverage those trends, because Instagram created those trends for you, for people like you to use and make the most out of. So why would you not want that? Why would you not want to leverage that? And then, of course, original content, which is not tied into trends. You bring in your own original script. This is the kind of content that is tied to your brand, expertise, personality. And I think original content is very underrated. If you have something great, if you have come up with a great concept of trying out reels, this will definitely help you stand out on reels. And yeah, these are some ideas you can definitely start out with if you're struggling that, okay, Preeti, where do we get started with reels? Behind the scenes, show the real side of your brand or product line, like before and after transitions, like before, for example, if how before and after, like when you start with making your products, to how it looks after your product has been put together, or before wearing outfit to after wearing outfit. How does an outfit look like? Someone talked about a luxury brand. So like a before and after of actually, when your product has been placed in a good use, how does that transformation come through? And you can do it in your own way. Before and afters are the most universally, it's like an evergreen concept that people always love to see, that wow, like this transformation. Like if I'm wearing this jewelry and I could just wear this and do like this and then show the same product in the second set of the reel, people love that. No matter how simple or how small the object is, people like to see transformations. And if you are a product entrepreneur, you should really, really leverage it. Like now, I think we are getting into the season of festivities. So if you are, a homegrown brand, then you can do up your house or wherever your product ties into, show the before and afters, and try to be more creative with how you can do a before and after with your product. And of course, simple tips and tricks, the Marie Kondo way. If you can share something of value, even as a business, like you saw this woman entrepreneur make me giddy, sharing mental health tips while talking about her brand. So if you can come up with valuable content you can share that ties into your brand and can help your ideal audience, um, that's it. And then you could hop onto trends as well. So these are some of the fun things that you can do with reels, um, and that's about it. Any questions so far?
Yes, we can open up the floor to some questions.
People are not okay. Let us give everyone a moment to tell us how much they love Daniel Lee.
This has been my favorite show of the year. It was
Yeah. So let's do a Q&A really quick. I will give you guys time to like soak into everything we've discussed. This presentation will be available later as well. But bring in your questions if you have something specific related to Instagram. I am happy to help you. But while we do that, I want to really share with you something that I have been building. I am a personal branding coach, and I've been working with a lot of entrepreneurs for over a few years, besides the work that I do in tech as a marketing manager. So I have been building a course which is primarily for personal brands who identify themselves as multi-passionates, and who really want to like show up on social media in a way that captures their true personality, and they really want to show up in a way that tells the world who they are in real life, and how their expertise and who they are as creative professionals ties into the reality of their lives. And as multi-passionates, we always struggle to position ourselves in a way that people get the full picture. Like people get that, okay, Preeti is an entrepreneur. She's also works with this creative agency. She's a personal branding coach. She's a musician. So how can you, show up on social media where people get your larger than life story and relate to you, and also love your journey, and so that eventually if you sell them something, they buy into who you are, they buy into your passion because they have seen you creative. So I have built this cohort based course with an incredible platform called Maven, which is built by the co-founders of Udemy. So I work closely with the ex-co-founders of Udemy, who are building this brand new platform called Maven. And I've built this course, which is a live course called Vibe of You, that helps people showcase themselves on social media in a way that they feel comfortable showing up, they enjoy the process of documenting their journey. And this course will help you build an authentic personal brand that helps you fully show the full picture of who you are as a brand. So if you are having thoughts about, okay, I want to really leverage and start showing up on social media, but I don't have clarity as to what is the kind of stuff I should talk about, because we are all beautiful people with a lot of perspectives, I think this course will help you get that clarity. And by the end of this course, you'll be able to understand that, okay, you are this iconic, multi-passionate person, and you have this message. These are the things that you want to talk about, and how you can incorporate all of that into a strategy that helps you get started. So it's a 3-week glow up course. You'll learn a lot about how you can get started with your personal brand. This is my first cohort. I've never done this. I've done a lot of workshops with businesses, but this is going to be a very intimate 4-session 3-week course module that I'm doing with diverse entrepreneurs from different industries. So my question to you is, if you enjoyed the conversations so far we have had, and you think that, okay, this sounds kind of interesting to me, feel free to get in touch. No obligation at all. I would love to chat more with you while I'm doing research on this, and I would love to understand where you're coming from. And if we are a good fit, then definitely I would love to have you on the on my cohort course in future. So that's
What is the best way for, there we go. Never mind. You're answering my
see,
question.
look at this. Look at me doing this reel. So basically, I have two Instagram accounts, guys, and I'm going to like quickly share with you all my links in the chat box. This is my travel Instagram page. You will see a lot of stuff about my, journey as an Indian traveling to Europe and now in London. And this is a page that I started very recently, and I grew it to about 800 followers in a few months. I talk a lot about filming content, lots of tips about how to create reels, how to show up in a more powerful sort of way. So I think you'll really enjoy. So feel free to follow me on the accounts that you feel are speaking to you. And that's about it. That's about it. But I would love to chat and get to know each one of you. If you feel like booking a call, just getting in touch. This is the most socializing I've had, Jen, ever since I moved to London. So
this is great.
we are all talking to one another. But
so yes, please feel free to ask any questions in the chat, but you can also just unmute yourself if you want to ask Preeti a question. While we just keep the room open for another couple of minutes, I'm just going to launch a poll. It's a couple of quick questions. If you don't mind taking just like 2 minutes, it really helps us to understand like which workshops are helpful and all that stuff. So I'm just going to launch that quickly. It's going to pop up on your screen. Yeah, I think that, there were so many things that I felt that were so powerful in this session. And I think that we really, all of us as human beings, we underestimate the interest and power of our story. And I know for me, when I meet an entrepreneur, the first thing I want to know is like, how and why did you start your business? Like where was the starting point of this? And we underestimate like how much people are interested in that. So I think that this was really, really fantastic.
Thank you. Thanks, Jen. And like I said about my course, this is my first time. So I'm really excited and thrilled because what I shared in today's and all the questions that I was getting, I was like, oh my God, like someone shared about, oh, what if I do not want to put my face on the brand? And these are legit questions. People struggle with this kind of stuff. So I feel I learned a lot from you as well. I have shared the link to my course, and I'm happy to say that since this is my first kind of cohort, for people who are coming from ITC, I'm happy to give them like a special prize or something, because you guys are doing amazing work with your, one of a kind product companies. So I want to be able to use your powerful stories to start talking about my course that, in future speaks to diverse entrepreneurs like you who are, doing such incredible stuff. So if you want to like collaborate or work with me, with my cohort, and spread the message about your brand, I want to learn more about personal branding. The course is not about Instagram. It's however about storytelling and crafting your social media narrative. So happy to chat with you. If you have questions, feel free to schedule a call or email me. You can get more information on the link that I provided. There's an application form. If you want to fill that, I will know, and then I could schedule a call with you and we can talk more.
Thank you. And I'm just going to put the link one more time in the chat for Ecom Connect. If you're not in the community yet, we would love to have you, and we're going to have the recording of this session. I think someone unmuted. Does someone have a question?
Rajesh, do you have a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Basically, basically, I want to understand here, can we use the Instagram reel and all this? Because I'm not used to the Instagram, but I just have created my account and not a single post beyond that. Okay. So just want to understand, how does as a service provider in this e-commerce consulting solutions and export import all this, how could I get the benefit the Instagram as a my you can say social media channel? Because I thought, because in this my domain as a service provider, I do not having so much creativity. We have just data, fact, information, and some knowledge, and our target audience totally different, who are very serious business entrepreneur who want to do something. So can we get such kind of target audience on Instagram? Because basically mainly the user is the youth and creative people who want to say some singing, artistic, fashion, design, food, hospitality, tourism. But ourselves belong just transferring the knowledge, making the reports, and helping the client to how to go the online sales channels. So how could I utilize it? But I know Instagram is a good place because I have tested for some creative posts. So now I got the ideas working on. But how can utilize for the as a for the as a for me as a for my consulting business?
That's a really good question. You might be seeing Instagram full of content with lifestyle and travel and fashion stuff. But if you think your ideal customer is on the platform, like the demographic on Instagram is very heavily about in between 18 to 45 years of age, people are spending a lot of time there, like billions of users using the app, opening the app multiple times of the day. If you know that if your exact customer persona, like if you're a business, you might have like a business plan where you know what your demographic is, what's their attributes like. If those guys or those people are really hanging out on the platform, then you definitely have a shot. And the more, and if you think that you do not see enough people talking about your line of business, I think that that is an advantage for you because no one else has created a brand presence. So you call yourself a consultant. I'm not sure if you're a B2B or a B2C, but what I got from the information you provided, that if you are a consultant who's catering to a retail market, for example, then for retail, if you are like if you want to speak to retailers, then maybe LinkedIn is a better option and Facebook ads are a better option. But if you want to build a community and talk about your brand to real people, then you can definitely start creating videos about how, think about valuable content ideas. What are the biggest struggles that your ideal customer is facing right now, and how you can talk about those solutions in creative videos, in form of Instagram reels. And once you build a community where every day you are sharing a video which is speaking to your customers through valuable tips and tricks and those kind of things, then I'm sure you'll be able to attract the right customers for your business.
I think that's a really
Thank
good.
you. Thank you. It's a fantastic answer. Basically, I'm into B2B and export import consulting, e-commerce export, helping the entrepreneur and manufacturer to go to the export market, global market by using their own sales channel website or marketplaces. I provide the D2C solution as well. Is that you can say I have started my own single standalone by learning on all these things, get certification on ITC and my local institute here in India as well. So I'm building the bit by bit, you can say brick by brick, putting the say systematically. Definitely hope one day I will get a good community where we can talk all this topic in detail and learn. Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
definitely. And be happy to help you. Maybe we can connect online.
Sure, sure. I will connect on LinkedIn. Okay, if you are
Okay.
LinkedIn,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. I've shared my links.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Christine is asking about hashtags. Is it still useful? Is it still
Hashtags. We all hate hashtags.
right?
Okay, this is a good question. So recently, Instagram shared that you don't need to use 30 hashtags. You can just have a diverse mix of 5 to 6 hashtags, but make sure your hashtags are diversified across sizes, right? So that first of all, pick 5 hashtags that really, you have to think about. Okay, if I am talking about you know what, there's a cake over here. If I'm talking about this chocolate cake, right? So you have to think about, my post will have chocolate cake. So who am I catering to? I'm talking about how wonderful this chocolate cake is. So think about who will want to see that post. Who are you speaking to? People who are dessert lovers, who are bakers, who are young kids or whatever. So find hashtags where your kind of people are actually hanging out. So identify hashtags that clearly describes what your product is, who your product will resonate to, and then make a list of different hashtags under each of these categories. And then make sure you also diversify your hashtags based on sizes. So if you pick 5 hashtags, pick one hashtag with, close to million posts under that, one less than 50,000, one less than 20,000, one a super niche but small, tight hashtag with a very thick community. So make sure your hashtags are a good mix of sizes and niche that truly represent what your product is about.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, I think we're gonna wrap up because we are at about an hour and a half now. Christine says thank you. Again, the recording will be in Ecom Connect. You can reach out to Preeti. Preeti, thank you so much. This was an amazing session. So practical, but also inspiring. It feels like very doable what you're suggesting. So I think this is going to be great for our members, and we will see you all in the community. So have a wonderful end of day.
Have a wonderful day, guys. It was so much nice to see you, everyone. I would love to connect with you all. So feel free to, reach out or email me on LinkedIn or something, and we could meet for, a virtual call. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, Jen. It's so much fun here.
You're welcome. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone. Have a good day.